Hey guys, just want to do a video showing you all the ins and outs and bells and whistles of my BackBox controller, and I call it the BackBox controller for obvious reasons. Now I'll start with the top. I have four not etched, these are cut out, laser cut speaker grills. I have sound exciters in here, so these aren't necessary, but it does add to the aesthetics. And I have some speaker material behind, so in person you can see the grilling, and it looks real nice. I just have a laser etched title here. Let's start on the back. So here I have a flush mounted USB 3 port that goes in, feeds the hub, and connects everything. 12 volts in and a 3.5 millimeter jack out. I'll explain that in a little bit. On this side we have one flipper, another flipper. On the front we have my stubby plunger, which fits in the footprint of a 28 millimeter arcade button, which is nice. An action button here. Then I have up, down, left, right, and back for navigation. So, on the bottom, I have these, they're about an inch, almost an inch, pretty stiff rubber pointed feet. And these are nice because they protect the counter, they prevent the box from sliding. And the biggest thing of all is when I nudge, they have just enough give to where I can, like, squeegee it to the side, or, it'll shift to the side a little bit and come right back. And it's perfect for nudging, so it's pretty realistic. So I'll show you, kind of like that. It moves over and then snaps back in place, and the feet stay in the same spot the whole time. So now for the inside, we have a lot. We have, I'll just go in order of buttons. So we have the stubby here, which is the button inside of a housing of an arcade button, or which is a plunger inside of an arcade button. That's fed to, I have the KL25Z board here that controls all the buttons and has the built-in analog accelerometer. So we have the plunger here, my action button, my 5 navigation buttons. We have the 2 side flippers, and as you can see here, I slightly modified. I designed a kind of a mount, I guess you could say, where it has 2 micro switches activated by the same plunger. One will activate the button like normal. The other will complete the circuit for these 2 solenoids, and these are just $10. I think Ford or whatever car brand solenoids off of Amazon. They're great because they don't overheat, and I am one of those people who tends to keep flippers engaged for like 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds at a time, always during the game. I've never had them overheat or act up, so that's good. So there's the buttons. Now we have 4 sound exciters right here, and how those are set up, it's, at least with Virtual Pinball 10, you have your desktop speakers, which is the front. You have these middle speakers here, which are considered the 7.1 surround. So in a 5.1 setup, it'd be the rear speakers. And then these 2 here are the back speakers. So going from you to the front of your setup, you have back, side surround, in the front. So when I plug this USB in, it activates this USB hub, which controls this USB 7.1 sound card, which has sub, rear, side, and 2.1, which is front channels, all fed to these amps. And how that works is I have the 2.1 front going to this pass-through for 3.5 millimeters. So any computer I go to, or when I'm ready to play, I put it on my desktop. All I have to do is connect the USB and connect this directly to my speakers. I have an input. They're self-powered, so that's my front speakers, and everything else is powered here. What's nice about these is, obviously these 2 here, the sides are controlled by an amp, the back are controlled by an amp, and the subs controlled by an amp. But what's nice is I can control the individual volume, but more importantly, the treble and the bass, so I can fine-tune the pass-through, what frequencies are passing through. And that's especially nice for the transducer, for the sub, you can call it. So I can fine-tune to keep all the higher end stuff from, making go off all the time. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Wow, that was faster than I thought. I just have these quick connects since I don't want to keep resplicing the ends of all my wires. I keep the JST wires whole, and I just splice them and then connect them to this side. So it's just easier for moving stuff around and less crimping. What else in here? I think that's all. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a lot, and it kind of is, but when you go through it all, it's pretty straightforward as far as a V-Pin setup. And the reason I designed this was because I never liked the look of even a fully furnished, all-out, balls to the wall V-Pin cabinet. I never liked the way they looked. Even with the newest stuff, the way that the playfield looks under the glass, it just always seemed too flat. And if it's gonna be flat, I might as well keep it on a monitor that's in front of me like normal. So that's why I designed this. So I can, plus I like the wider playfield on a landscape oriented monitor. So I can just plug this right in, and I have all the guts of a fancy V-Pin in my hands that I can use with my desktop, or anyone's desktop for that matter. So in that respect, this is 100% portable. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot another video, or 2 more videos. I'll show you one where I test all the inputs so you can see how that works, and then I'll do another one where you actually see it during gameplay. It works fine during Pinball FX. During Pinball FX, I have the solenoids activated to make the feedback, since the surround sound feedback, I know you can modify it, but it's not baked into it, so I don't even bother with it. I just have the solenoids, which give me that clunk feeling, which is real nice. And in more arcade-like games like Demon's Tilt or Xeno Tilt, I use these as well, just to get the feedback. It's really, I don't use Future Pinball, I'm sure that would do it too, but it's really VPX, or Virtual Pinball 10, or Visual Pinball 10, that takes advantage of all this at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot that video and splice them all together. I'll see you guys soon. All right, now I want to show you guys some of the input and output features of this controller. I'll start with the buttons. I have some apps here that will show us how they work. We'll start with the keyboard mapper. So as you can see, my stubby controller here is set up as the enter key. I have left button, or an action button over here, A. I have up, down, left, right, and back. This is Q here. And then I have the 2 flippers on the side, which are left and right shift. And with VPX, I don't need the solenoids activated because the sound exciters do more than enough to give me the feedback. But when I play an arcade game or Pinball FX, I know you can mod it for surround sound, or surround sound feedback, but if you're playing it normally and it doesn't do any of that fancy stuff, I just take the main power. I need to put a switch into this, I just haven't yet. And let me find it. Here it is. Connect this up. And, sorry. We now have solenoid feedback, which is good, like I said, for arcade games that don't have anything built in. When you're not using it, like I said, I'll build a switch, but for now I just unplug the main. Next is on the KL25Z board, it has analog nudging. So as you can see over here now, whenever here's an example of those feet coming into play, the box will move and then go back into place. That is what the nudge, that's what the nudge looks like, and that's the input that the game reads. And you can set the thresholds and the dead zones and everything, but out of the box, I don't think I had to change any settings. It worked really well. And down here is more of the fun part, interesting part. I have the 4 sound exciters. I have left, right, back, left, right, center, and then the front, which are my 2.1 speakers. So let's go ahead and test those. This is the driver software that came with my sound card, USB 7.1 sound card. I'll start with the front.
Left front.
Left front.
Right front.
Right front. Here's the sub, if you listen closely. And I can make it louder or change the frequency real easily with these knobs on top here. Listen. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but it definitely changes. And then we have left surround, which is, I guess you call it center.
Left surround. Right surround. Left back surround. Right back surround.
So that is these 4 speakers, or exciters right here, doing their thing. I'll do it again. I'll do all 6 speakers.
Left front. Right front. Left surround. Right surround. Left back surround. Right back surround.
And subwoofer, so 7. And what's nice is, you'll see when I do the gameplay video, I can literally feel the ball go from this hand to this hand, front to back, by the intensity of the vibrations on this material. This is MDF. It's super conducive to this type of setup because it just carries the vibrations really well. It doesn't deaden them too much, which like I'd imagine some more dense wood, that sounds silly, like some more dense pieces of wood might do, or might have rather. Let me think. So that's it for the input and output. I'm gonna go ahead and set this up and start doing, actually, let's see, let me do it now. I'll leave the top open. I'll start VPX and we'll just jump right into it. Let's play, I like Lord of the Rings. All right. And that's coming from up here. From this sound exciter right here. You know, I'm gonna put the top on, just no reason, but just to look a little bit better. So I'll start the game. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell from the video, but all the speakers are working how they should, and the ball roll feel is my favorite part. Like, I could have no music, no sound effects, and just hear that ball roll around, and it makes me happy. So, for some reason, the plunger is a little slow on this. I don't know why, but here we go. I could, like, right there, those bounces off the flipper, I felt that right here. I'm pretty good at pinball. All right, let's try it again. Oh, here's another thing. Watch the nudge. Watch the ball. It's on the left flipper. Works perfect. And like I said, I can feel everything. The sub's kicking in. I can feel each bumper, respectively, where it is in the back. And I'm over the moon happy with this. I avoided virtual pinball forever because, like I said, I never liked the look of the full cab with the flatness, but being able to have this on my, you know, landscape-oriented monitor with a wider playfield, I really like it. So, I mean, I could throw it on a 55-inch TV or something, or 32-inch, whatever the recommended is. I think maybe 42, I don't know, and play vertically, but I'm just as happy with this. This is fine. But the nice thing is I have options. I can do whatever I want with this. Like all those poppers right there, I just felt them. So, yeah, that's how it works. And it wasn't very expensive. I know people have been asking for a price list. I'll just go over real quick. The wood itself was like $18 for the whole piece. All these pieces came out of one piece. The buttons were like $6. I 3D printed the parts for that, so I'd call that free. It was like $10 for these fancy metal buttons. A lot of the stuff I had laying around. On the inside, the sound card, USB sound card, was $27. The amps were $30 a piece. Solenoids were $10 a piece. This was, I think, $20 for the transducer. These were $20 a piece for the sound exciters. And the most expensive thing was the KL25Z board. I think they're normally like $15, but there's a demand, so I just said screw it. It was like $60. I got it on Amazon. I'm done. I have it. It works. So that's it. It's not, and you could swap out any of these parts for any equally functioning part. So you could go as cheap as you want. As long as it works, it works. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and that's it. See you guys. Bye.